Welcome to Trial by Wine. We take a closer look at crimes that highlight how fascinating humans can be. Schmitty, Swanny and Clarkey visit crimes and run them through their jury of three, debating both sides of the case to agree an appropriate, if totally fictitious, sentence. Please be advised, Trial by Wine may include explicit or disturbing content and will include drunken rambling. Listener discretion is advised. All right! How are we all? Happy to see you again this week.
Hello,
There's something so lovely about that. All right! You do it so well. It just makes me feel ready.
And how was your week?
I went to Bendigo and Shepparton this week, so I did a little bit of Rona dodging again, which was nice. And then all of a sudden came back to the Albury-Wodonga region, and we are smashing the COVID cases out of the park here. We had like 91 on Friday.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah, but they report, because we're in two different states, they report them separately. So Wodonga had 45 and Albury had 46.
Right, okay.
So it seems like it's not bad.
So close.
I know, it's like neck and neck. But so in Victoria,
like
they say that there was 45, and in New South Wales, they say it was 46, but it's really 91.
Wow.
Still, Tony was telling me the numbers this morning, and it's gone down to just over 1,000, and it was 1,300 yesterday, I think. So it's slowly coming down. But I don't know. I don't think we're aiming for zero anymore. I think we're aiming for the majority of people being vaccinated.
Endemic.
Yeah.
But you guys are in, your world opens up again a little bit more, doesn't it, as of the 1st of November?
Oh, yeah, no, it did. I was allowed to go regional. Yeah. Well,
there
I
you
was
go.
allowed to leave Melbourne.
Ooh.
That meant that I could go up to Ilden and check on the houseboat because I knew I had a water leak in the bathroom. But everything's really good. So we had a lovely weekend up there, and I was able, because the lake is at 85% at the moment, or 84%, it meant I was able to get mum on board for the first time in 6 years. So that was lovely.
I don't think I know what that means. Does that mean the water level is at a certain point that your mum can access the boat?
Yeah, she's pretty immobile. Well, she's mobile, but she can't lift her legs much. She can't do stairs. And so when the water's low, it's a very steep hill and there's a series of stairs.
Got it.
But the water's at this perfect level where the marina is actually the first plank or whatever of the marina is literally level with the road. So we could drive her up, chuck her out of the car, and she could walk straight onto the marina. So
Reverse her in.
And so does she then just do a bombing? Does she do a bombing into the lake and then swim to the houseboat?
No, she basically sat in the front room looking around saying, it's going to show the dirt, because I've painted what was a very dark brown 70s walnut panel area. I've painted it all cream, and it's going to show the dirt. But, she pretty much approved.
She can pick a fault from 100 paces.
She can.
Did she get quite sentimental?
My mother doesn't do sentimental, Carla. It's not a word in her vocabulary.
I thought it might have, taken her back to your, childhood.
It might have, but she certainly didn't allow that to
she kept
be
her
evident.
cards close to her chest.
That's right. That's a typical Bernadetteism. And what about you, Carla? How was your week?
Oh, a bit of a mixed bag. We had dreadful weather, lots of school things on, nothing exciting. And I'm getting ready to go on a little holiday. So I've been a bit of a stressed mum, trying to do handover notes. I think I'm on like page 8 to give to someone to look after my kids for a week. But I'm looking forward to getting on a plane, and haven't done that, since the beginning of COVID. So
are you actually going anywhere, or are you just getting on a plane and going around and then landing again?
Just driving around the tarmac. No, we're going up north. So hopefully we'll get some lovely weather, and I'm not sure. I'm a bit nervous about it. Think I might be eaten by a shark. So
just stay out of the water.
So much wildlife over here. Oh, but I've thought of something that I wanted to cover. Bert died. Bert Newton. You lost Bert this morning.
Victoria. Know that?
Yeah.
Oh God, I can't believe I just
overnight.
Oh no, Schmitty.
I was in the country. We don't have news there. I mean, we do. I just wasn't looking at it. Oh, that's sad.
Well, I woke up to that news this morning. So Bert's gone.
Old moon face.
Who's played such a big part of my childhood?
What's Paddy going to do without him?
Everybody's like
83.
Oh, I don't know. There were lots of regards sent to Paddy and the kids. Is it Paddy and Lauren? I can't remember what the son's name is, but yeah.
The son got cancelled a while ago. We don't talk about him.
Oh, I do know who he is. I do. Yeah, sorry, I do know
Engelbert.
exactly who he is.
wish-
You're right. Whoops. That all happened while I was overseas, but I am aware. Yep.
Yeah,
Say no
he's
more.
cancelled.
Yep.
Anyway.
Whoops. Moving along swiftly.
All right. Well, shall we introduce ourselves?
Yeah.
I'm Schmitty.
I'm Swanny.
And I'm Clarky. And together we are Trial by Wine.
What are you drinking, Paul and Stuart?
Well, I'm glad you asked. So yesterday we had some friends over and we drank a lot of wine. And then we had to do a dash to the bottle shop to get some wine this morning so that we could have something to drink. And then I discovered that there are 2 bottles that are part bottles left over from last night. So one's a Pizzini Riesling, which we're having right now, which is quite delicious still. And there's also a Prosecco from Feathertop, which might be a flat Prosecco now. It could be bubbly. So we might try that part way through and just see how that goes. So listeners, watch out for that moment. Could be bad, might get cut. And then we've got some Red Hill Pinot Grigio too.
All bases covered.
And
We
Carla.
came prepared today.
Oh, you did. You sound, yeah.
Well, I found that sort of difficult listening because I went out last night to a school function and it was BYO and I don't know, I ended up drinking a couple of bottles of the wine that I took to myself, which was just a Provence rosé. But I was awake at 4 o'clock this morning with a little bit of a racing heart and feeling a bit rough and then getting a bit anxious about all my planning. So it's a Diet Coke for me right now. I'm a little bit hungover.
Lovely.
Yes. And you, Schmitty?
Well, that's a bit of a coinky-dink, although... Where did you say yours was? It's Provence. I don't know
Provence,
where the
yep.
Languedoc region is in France, but I am drinking a rosé.
Sounds like it's in Vietnam.
It's not Provence, but I do know the region. But yeah,
It's
Yum.
Languedoc.
It's from the Languedoc region in Vietnam.
No, it's
Languedoc. Yeah,
Languedoc.
I think that's how you say it.
And it's Dardimont rosé. And the only reason we have this is because Tony thought it was a sparkling. But look how fancy the bottle is.
Oh wow, it does
Oh,
look like a
fancy.
sparkling water, there, doesn't it?
Crazy. And
Ritzy,
the best bit
tipsy.
about it is it's got a glass stopper. It's like something out of
Yeah,
A
nice.
Dream of Genie. Anyway,
Nice.
You'll have to
Ladies.
repurpose that and put perfume in it.
well, I think I'm going to keep them and put some of my damson gin in it once I've got the next batch done because it's so fancy. That's us. So, Carla, I believe you have
Yes.
some stories for us today.
I do. I've taken a slightly different tack this week, and I thought that whilst you've all been diving so deep into stories, I thought I'd take the total opposite and just scoop, the top of the pool and get some shallow readings. So where better to start than Florida? And I saw this thing maybe 2 weeks ago where they were suggesting that people put in their date of birth and Florida man in a search to see what would come up. And then after short shrift, I realised that it was actually done as a way to get people's personal details. So it's not all good news in that respect. But what I thought I'd do is I've used our birthdays and Googled Florida man to see what crimes were being committed on our days of birth.
Lovely.
But I do have a couple of disclaimers. First of all, I love Florida. I've been there many times and my husband and I talk about potentially, retiring there at one point. So I'm totally up for, going to Florida, love it. That doesn't mean that there aren't some fabulous stories that come from the place, but I'm not trying to suggest that I'm, anti-Floridian in any respect. The names of the people that I'll mention are just taken directly from the news articles that I've read. I make no comment on who they are as people. I wouldn't have a clue. It's in the public domain. Yeah, I think we're ready to start
Yeah.
if you're
Look,
if you're
that's
ears.
fair enough, but I think Clarky and I will definitely comment on who they are as people, even though we don't know them, because that's trial by wine.
That's kind of the idea, isn't it?
Yes, happy to judge from a position of ignorance, and apologies if we offend people along the way, but it's all in the name of humour.
Absolutely. So the first story that I'd like to share with you is related to Paul's birthday, Mr. Clark, and I'm not going to give away the actual date of his birth, but he's a November baby. So this story coincides with the day of his birth. The headline reads, "Mostly naked Florida man accused of spreading feces during school break-in."
Of course.
And I have to say that whenever the word feces is there, I'm on it like a fly. I'm like, oh, this sounds like something I might be interested in. I love a bit of a fecal story. So what did he
Take
do?
it away. Do tell more.
I may pronounce this incorrectly, but I think it's Seminole County. But anyway, that's neither here nor there, I guess. A man was
is it seminal or seminal?
seminal.
Is this like a stories of
SEMINAL.
semen and feces, or is it a
stop.
story of religion and feces?
Oh, stop.
Isn't seminal something to do with religion?
Doesn't it have something to do with Indians?
Oh
I don't know.
my
I should.
God.
I feels like I should know
I
what it
don't
is.
know
Maybe-
where this conversation
I know, I
is
don't wanna
going, but
say
I
it.
think we all need to just time it out.
I think it might be an Indian-related word from being there. I should look it up anyway. I think it's
Google
like
Can you Google
seminal.
that?
American
Yeah,
Indian.
I'll do it now.
No.
Can you look it up?
Stuart's
And
gonna-
I think it's
Stuart's
something.
gonna
I think
do
it's
it.
an African American.
Strongly influencing
And,
later developments, related to or denoting semen. There you go, as the second meaning. So yes, there is a.
See, it's a semen and feces story.
Semen-related county.
Ah,
Okay, there you go.
No one wants
Well,
feces
okay.
in their semen. I can tell you that right now.
Nothing. By the way,
Oh.
nothing to do with India.
Oh no, I wasn't thinking of India. I was thinking of American. Like, are you allowed to call them, American Indians? Oh God,
You
what am
mean
I
Native
saying?
Americans?
Native
Indigenous
American.
Americans.
That is the word. That is the terminology I'm
right,
after.
right.
And there are quite a few places in Florida that are named after that. So that's what I was
Okay,
thinking. Anyway.
right. Okay.
Okay, so a man was naked from the waist down when he broke into an elementary school, spreading feces in the process, according to the Seminole County Sheriff's Office. Deputies said a school resource
Was he
officer
doing
at
it
Bear Lake
deliberately, or did
Elementary.
he just have a leak?
Yeah, I had exactly
no,
the
I
same
think he-
question. Was he just like shitting himself by accident whilst breaking in, and it was smearing everywhere?
Chronic diarrhea.
Yeah. Or
Yes.
was it in his hands and he's
Let
wiping
me
it on
go
walls?
further. Let me tell you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A surveillance video showed a man, later identified as a 25-year-old Mr. Christian Shea, jumping a fence on the property at about 2:10 a.m. Deputies said they found cake frosting on drawers, desks, and chairs in a classroom. There were
Cake
frosting
frosting?
footprints across the floor as
because
well.
it looks like
Yeah.
They
chocolate.
didn't.
I hope. Surely
No,
it's
no,
now.
no,
Yeah.
no. It truly was
Oh,
frosting.
Oh.
The opened
Oh.
cake container
wow.
and like they had a jar of frosting was found in the classroom's trash can, along with the child's sweatshirt that was covered in frosting and feces. So there are two things at play. There is both
Frosting
frosting,
and
like
feces.
cake frosting, and
Do
feces.
we know?
Which does beg the question, you'd want to know what flavour that frosting
I
was,
was
wouldn't
about
you?
to say, was this a
Because the colour plays an important
was
role.
this a big jar of
Yeah.
Betty
They want
Crocker
chocolate
chocolate?
That's it. You would be hoping it was Betty Crocker's frosting, I don't know, vanilla. You wouldn't want it to be
Yeah.
chocolate, would you? Because, I mean, there must have been a little bit of confusion at the outset.
I wonder though if he had before he got to the school, he had 3 jars of frosting, just ate them, which gave him chronic diarrhea. So then he really just wanted to go to the school and spread frosting, but actually spread feces as well.
Or his original intention was to go to school and spread frosting everywhere, and he just didn't have enough. So he had to improvise by shitting like a gorilla in his own hand and wiping it everywhere.
Yeah. Or he could have been
I
going
do
for
think that he
Neapolitan.
may have already needed to go to the toilet on his entry because it says handprints and footprints of fecal matter were found at the window ledge in the classroom where Shay had broken in. So I think the frosting comes in after he's pooed himself.
Oh, right, because I
He
was going
shat
to
on
say,
his hands.
well,
Oh.
who knows where he shat, but did he leave by the same entry point? Because maybe the footprints were
I don't
later he
think
stood in
so.
his own
Oh.
shit.
No, see, I reckon he went there with pants on and shat himself, and so he had to take them off, and that's when he got it all over his hands, and then broke
I
into
don't know
the
if he
school.
thought he was on his way to a toilet, perhaps. And then he sort of, I don't know. I'll keep reading because there are
Well,
so
the
many
school
questions.
would have toilets, wouldn't it? Okay, sorry.
They do have toilets. And the reason I know there are toilets is because a stapler was found placed in a toilet. So he'd got himself to a toilet at some point, but he didn't use it to defecate in. He put a stapler in there. And a TV remote that was covered in feces and frosting was also located in the same bathroom.
I feel like he had such bad diarrhea he was trying to staple himself shut so he didn't leak all over the school. And then he dropped it into the toilet and just went, I'm just going to leave that there.
I just wonder, why he was there initially. Was he there to break in? Was it because he'd had diarrhea and, was looking for a toilet? I would be very intrigued to know what the man's
I'd say
motives
he's
are.
on
And the thing is,
drugs.
I don't know what
I'd
they
say he's
are.
on drugs. But I also,
I think that's
Yeah.
a given. But
Which ones though?
I agree with Clarky though. My initial thought with the stapler was definitely just trying to chop that off somehow. Just
Stop the leakage.
Yeah.
Oh no, I was thinking stop the leakage. I'll just.
yeah, I'll just seal myself up a bit.
he says that they also found a laptop. It was found in a trash can outside of the school. But again, the reason they knew it was him was they found the man's soiled underwear was hanging from the building near the
He
the
did
trash can.
shit himself on the way there.
He did. Yeah. But he must have
Ah,
continued to go,
yeah.
otherwise it was not a tidy situation.
Yeah.
Oh God. He's just mad. So anyway, he breaks in. He's already lost. He already has his pants off. They've been taken off before he goes in through the window. He leaves his fecal footprints and handprints. He continues on. Then he must find this frosting. So if I've read it correctly in the 2 articles that I've been able to find, he finds the can of frosting. Obviously not so upset in the stomach that he can't think, oh, I might just help myself to a little bit of that. So he starts eating the frosting whilst he's still...
Oh, but he's got shit on his
Oh,
hands.
God.
Covered in.
Yeah.
But he's also got shit on his hands.
Yes.
Oh,
Imagine spraying that
correct.
into your mouth or something.
Oh, because I really am.
It's
He was
like
on campus.
frosting.
Oh, okay. So,
He was on the campus until 4:30 a.m. He was there for nearly
well,
2
he's having a
hours.
jolly good time. But so
I think
cans of frosting. So, Paul, you've introduced the idea of an aerosol type one. I honestly was thinking of those Betty Crocker jars because you have to scoop them out. You know, that's not going to be nice.
Yeah, but I must say though, so maybe what he decided is that he needed to clean his fingers, and I can't just lick the shit off my fingers because that's gross. But if I cover them in frosting, then it'll hide some of the flavour, and I'll be able to eat it that way. It's
Genius.
like, just taking away some of, yeah.
No, absolute genius. Yeah.
Because all I'm seeing at the moment is a bloke who wanted to break into a school, shat himself, took his pants off, climbed in through the window, decided he needed to clean his fingers because he had shit on his hands, so he must have decided to clean himself up at some point anyway. And then went, now I've got shit all over my hands. Oh, frosting, that'll help me clean my hands up. And I'll just...
I wish we knew if
And
it was
then-
vanilla or chocolate because it might help understand his predicament.
Oh, yes. But I also then think he was still leaking when he was in the school, and that's when he grabbed a stapler and went to the toilet.
Oh, God. So it says here, during the
Hang on,
investigation, deputy
We
said...
haven't explored the TV remote though. We've talked at length about the stapler, but what was with the shit?
The laptop?
No, there was
The
a
laptop.
shit-covered TV remote in the toilet as well.
I don't know why it's taken him 2 hours, though, frankly. I mean, if you bust into the toilet and you're not feeling well, this could all be done in a fairly short period of time. You could have been in and out.
I feel
know what
like
he's
the
hanging around
frosting...
for.
I feel like the frosting and the shit everywhere are not the main reason he went there. I think they're just
I
things
agree.
that happened. They were unplanned events.
That's what I would
And I
like to
don't-
get to the bottom of. I
And
think
I
you're
don't
right.
think he went there to put a stapler in the toilet. So I still think that was to stop the leakage. But I'm still not sure why he did go there. And I hope we get to the bottom of that.
It says that during the investigation, deputies said employees at the school recognised Shay as being involved in previous incidents. So it doesn't go into any detail as to what
love
they are.
previous incidents of a bloke like that.
But
It's
he's
just
got
like saying
form.
he's done this before.
He's
Yeah.
got form. This wasn't you or I out thinking, uh-oh, I'm on my way home. I've got a terrible stomach pain. Where can I get to a public facility? Oh, my God. Oh, my God. Maybe the local
Yeah.
school. Maybe I'll break in. Oh, no. I think
Yeah,
this
it's all
guy
going wrong. It's all going
wacko.
wrong. I've just got to... It just keeps escalating. I just wanted to go to the toilet, and then I just tried to cover it up, and...
And while I was there,
Oh,
I thought
so
I'd
when
watch
they
a
go to-
video, so I got the TV remote, and then I thought, oh, hang on,
Exactly.
I'm still, in Paul's terminology, leaking.
Edward shit hands.
I'll just grab myself a stapler. Oh, can't wait another moment. Must run to toilet. Thus, remote and stapler were found in toilet.
Yeah.
I didn't even know that he ever went to the toilet. I think it was
Oh, I
all
thought you
just
said he
done
was in a
throughout
bathroom. I thought the
school.
stapler and the...
He was, but I don't. No one said that he sat down the toilet. That he put a stapler in the toilet and a TV remote.
He dropped the
Yeah.
stapler in the toilet whilst trying to staple his butt closed, stop the leaking.
He really likes to watch TV while he defecates.
Or he thought, I've got so much shit on this remote and this stapler, I better flush him down the toilet.
So when they found him, which was not difficult, they went to his house.
Did they follow the shit print?
And they told him that they had, surveillance. And he went, yeah, that was me. Yeah, totally. Yeah, no contest. Yeah. And he said the reason he had committed the crimes was because he'd smoked a marijuana blunt that had been laced with an unknown substance. So he was like, totally me. Whoops, it looked like I've smoked something that sent me a bit crazy. And what do you know? So he was arrested on charges of burglary.
I was going to ask, when you say he committed the crime, what was actually the crime?
He was arrested on charges of burglary, property damage, petty theft, and indecent exposure.
Oh, because he had no pants on. Right.
Stole the remote.
Correct. So he had no pants on for this whole... Oh, my God, it's just gross.
He should have been arrested for free flow.
Oh, but could you imagine being the officer who turned up and having to go, oh, okay.
Imagine being the cleaner the next day.
Oh, rightio, there's a pair of shitty underpants outside. That's where he's crawled in through the...
Imagine
the window. There's all
the forensics team. Frosting or shit? Which one is it? Let's take it back to the lab.
Yeah. No. I'll take a swipe with my left finger and a swipe with my right finger, and yeah.
Don't forget to bag
you
the
don't
remote.
often see an episode like this on CSI, do you?
No.
Oddly,
frosting
no.
or fecal? Oh, that could be like one of those little quizzes where they go frosting, fecal or frosting, and you have to guess.
Yes, like lesbian or German, which was a thing when I lived in the UK. One of the I don't know if it was a magazine. It used to have a picture of a woman, and you had to guess whether she was lesbian or German. Like so wrong, but it was literally a thing.
So that was your birthday crime, Clarky?
Of course it was. Well, that sounds quite fitting. I think. I still don't think it was a crime. I think it was just a poor man trying to go to the toilet. And
well, this is the thing. We've all had situations where we've been a little bit of strife when it comes to getting to a toilet. There's no doubt about that.
I have an anecdote.
But it's how we behave when we have to go about that. I have not had to...
I have an anecdote on that. It's not even my own anecdote, but it was so funny I have to share it. So the people involved in this, their names will be protected, and if they ever listen, they'll know that I'm talking about them. A friend of mine once told me this story that involved his partner, and they were at the Mardi Gras in Sydney, and they were having obviously a wonderful time. And at some point in the proceedings, my friend's partner suddenly had that whole tummy turn moment, desperately needing to go to the toilet. Unfortunately, being in Sydney, they didn't know where the nearest toilets were. And this was beyond, touching the cloth. This thing's going to blow any second now. And so they went up to a bus shelter, I think it was. Yeah, it must have been a bus shelter. And he turned around, he pulled his...
No, why? Because you can...
No, that's just where they were. So he dropped his pants and he does this explosive shit everywhere. And then, because he had to, right? But then... People were coming, right? So his partner's like, oh my God, people are coming. So he pulls his pants up and he turns around and he leans on the wall of the bus shelter and pretends to vomit like this to try.
In his own shit.
To cover up.
To cover it up because somehow vomiting.
Oh no.
Vomiting in a bus shelter is somehow that just a little bit more socially acceptable in Mardi Gras than shit everywhere. Anyway, I thought you'd enjoy that.
Oh, he's had one drink too many, poor chap. Yes,
I don't
exactly.
know what happened, but I
wonder what he would have done if he had frosting.
Oh, it would have added. It would have artistically putting it all over the wall, I'm sure. Anyway, sorry, that's
cleaned it all up, I'm sure.
You made me think of my friends. Anyway, sorry, go on, Carla. That was a cracker.
Nothing. I really feel for anybody who's ever been in that situation where you're in a panic to get home or get somewhere and your stomach is in a knot and you're sweating and you're like, oh my God, I've got to breathe through it.
I experienced it myself recently.
Yeah.
I may be oversharing there. Sorry.
I'm about to overshare. I actually had a similar experience myself, and Tony and I were away for, it was the middle of lockdown, and we were away for my birthday actually, and we went up to Mansfield and we were having a lovely time, and we were driving around Lake Eildon, like up in the hills, and all of a sudden I had a similar moment to my friend's partner where I suddenly had to go to the toilet, and it was not to be told
Go to the
no.
bus stop.
I had to find a bus stop.
You didn't have time to find a local school to break into.
No, and I was like, oh my God, we were in the middle of nowhere. And so I'm like, pull over, I've got to go to the toilet, I've got to go. And so he pulls up into what's a bit of a lookout, but I'm very familiar with the area. So I walk down, and then I go down the hill a little bit. So I'm away from where any tourists could possibly be. And I look around, and it looks completely, there's no one there. And there was no one there, before we worry. Anyway, I do the thing, and I come back feeling a lot less sweaty and anxious. And we get in the car, and then we go up the road, and we come back, and I kid you not, 5 minutes later, there's all these tourists where I had just been. And I was like, oh, that was lucky. Because if they'd shown up, it would have looked strange if I pretended to be vomiting.
I wonder if they were doing like one of those bushwalk things where you try to just work out what animals are around based on the poo, and they came across yours.
And I thought,
what is that?
Oh, I thought, well, my telltale giveaway was
The bunyip.
2 sheets of sorbent was probably a bit of a giveaway that it wasn't a bunyip.
Yes.
Anyway,
Yes.
so
You remember that book that you sent Alexander when he was a baby, and it was called A Mole?
it
What
was
was it
called The
called?
Little
It
Mole
was
Who
about
Knew It Was
mole
None
who
of His Business.
None of his business. That's
And
it.
it's all about a little mole.
Schmitty sent my son a book, or gave my son a book about. Was it the mole that was sniffing all the little
mole
poos and
puts
trying to
his
work
head
out?
up. The mole
No.
puts his head up out of his hole, and he gets a poo on his
Yeah.
head. He gets pooed on.
That's right.
And he says,
Oh,
this isn't
gross. Poor
this
mole.
isn't my poo. And then he goes up to all these animals and says, was this your poo? And they're like, no, this is my poo. And then there's a little picture of the poo, and it describes the shape and the consistency.
Or a cow pat. Oh, yeah, that's right.
And then eventually he meets
That's
a dog.
right.
And he says, is this your poo? And the dog's like, yeah, that's my poo. And so the mole, in real indignation, climbs up on his head and he squeezes out. And in the photo, you've got this big sort of Labrador head, and this tiny little dot of poo just comes out from the mole.
Mole
Going,
poo.
"Yeah, take that." He poos on the dog's head.
Oh my
That's
God.
bad.
Best children's book ever. All right, so are we going to sentence this guy, or you think he's just had a bad moment?
We could sentence him. All of these stories, there's a little bit of an underlying current of just say no to drugs, boys and girls. That's for sure. But yeah,
I'm going to sentence his drug
I
dealer,
don't know.
because his drug dealer gave him a blunt that didn't have what he thought it had in it.
It was laced with something
That's
indeed.
right.
Yes, you think you know what you're
That's
buying.
right. No, bad marketing.
Stop
Yet
He would have
smoking
said on the tin it
laces.
was a little bit more. I didn't say one with a laxative effect. It was probably laced with Dulcolax or something.
I have come up with a sentence for the drug dealer. So I think for the drug dealer, because he's obviously selling bad product, he should be made to eat really hot Indian and Mexican food for, I don't know, 3 or 4 days. And he has to take Imodium to constipate him. And then he takes his own, smokes his own bad laced drugs. And then he's just got to stay in his own house and shit all over it. Job done.
So I think was his name Christopher? Or Christian?
Christian.
So I think Christian.
Shane.
It's only a fairly mild sentence that I've got for Christian, but I think whenever he is smoking joints, he should be wearing a nappy for the next 48 hours. Because
That's a
he
good one.
clearly can't be trusted.
Yeah, it's a good idea.
And I would like to ban him also from both frosting and stapling.
Yeah.
Because I just don't think anything good is going to come from either of those.
No, I
That-
think you're
fair
right.
call.
Yeah.
Happy with that.
All right, should we move on now to Schmitty's birthday?
Yes.
Can we?
We can. Now this one's slightly, again, I probably do need to give a bit of a caveat because something not very nice happens to an animal. And of course, we don't condone that whatsoever. But in the sake of, sticking to the little idea of trying to tell you the story that was connected to Schmitty's birthday, the headline reads, Florida man steals alligator from golf course, tries teaching it a lesson, by throwing it on the roof of bar.
That'll teach you.
That kind of does give away the entire story.
Get up there.
Daytona Beach Shores.
Teaching it a lesson for being on the golf course, is that what we're assuming?
Or for being an
Well, it's
alligator.
Or just for being an alligator?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Being
what
an
I'm
ass
unsure
of an
of.
alligator. This alligator's got attitude that was not appreciated.
Right.
A Florida man told police officers he was teaching it a lesson when he tried to throw a live alligator he had stolen from a miniature golf course onto the roof of a beachside cocktail lounge. The 32-year-old man was arrested when Daytona Beach Shores police officers spotted him attempting to throw the gator onto the roof of the cocktail lounge located just off Highway A1A. The officers then saw the man take the alligator by its tail, hit it against the awning of the building, throw it to the
Oh, that's
ground,
not okay.
and stomp on it twice.
No, that's not okay.
Which is obviously
That's just
not okay at all. But
Go on.
it's just abuse. But I mean, who does that to an
Who
alligator?
does that to anyone? You know, a bad person. Happy birthday to me. Anyway, go on.
So before we got onto the animal mutilation bit, which we're clearly not cool with, when you said he was trying to throw it onto the roof of the bar, I had visions of him hammer throw,
Like
in the Olympics.
Yep, the Olympic
Grab
hammer.
it by the tail and woo, 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 floof. And I just wondered, because I'm not really sure how you throw an alligator onto a roof. That bit I'm kind of okay with, you know, it's not too bad, but I also had visions of the roof being an umbrella, like, you know, those market umbrella kind of thing, and therefore him really just throwing it into a crowd. But then the other bits, now he needs a nut punch.
How big is this alligator? Because, you know, they're not small.
I don't imagine
animals.
it's huge if he's able to. If it was at a miniature golf course, it would have not
So
been.
it's a
massive, I
miniature
don't think. And I'm not saying
alligator.
because it's a miniature golf course. I don't know the miniature alligator, but I suspect so there's some level of safety. It's not a huge.
It's a real
one.
animal. We're talking about a real animal.
Totally.
Okay.
And the
Yeah.
thing is, because it's been seen, the actual crime that was, well, you know, the police actually saw him do it. The man was initially walking down the street with the alligator before he tried to throw it on the roof, before he, you know, then attacked it. It just, I mean, I don't know how you think that that's going to be something that has a good
Yeah,
outcome.
drugs aren't
but,
good, kids.
you know-
drugs are not good.
Yeah, drugs are bad, okay?
Drugs are bad.
but I think that he was just massively sort of
On the drugs.
apparently the alligators were, when they were hungry, they would sort of I don't know if this is the real reason because it doesn't actually say that, but it does make mention of it at one point, saying I think the alligator had annoyed him when he was playing mini golf because it was saying that when they were hungry they tended to sort of chase and, you know, go after the people who were playing. So I think when he was saying that he wanted to teach it a lesson, that was why he got upset with it. He's like, I can't
It's
deal
like-
with this. I'll show you.
I'll
It's
play
like
mini golf somewhere else.
an adventure sport of mini golf. Like, at any minute you could actually die because there's alligators running around trying to eat people. That would make it a little bit more entertaining.
They must be quite small.
this
They're
guy-
like, I mean,
He
I
wasn't-
mean, in my, I've got this, you know, terror of crocodiles, and I keep thinking about some giant thing, but it must be a tiny little thing. Oh, you know, no more than a metre long.
I don't know. There are no pictures, unfortunately.
You know how like mini golf courses often have little novelty kind of things or
Yes.
tricks you've got to do? I just can't help but think that maybe it was a fake alligator that was part of the game and you had to hit the golf ball into the jaw of the alligator and he just couldn't do it. So he got really annoyed and so he stole a fake alligator and then went and did all of this with the fake alligator.
I'm just
Yeah,
disappointed that the
again,
lesson.
drugs are bad.
I'm disappointed the lesson he tried to teach him wasn't golf related. I was hoping for him to. I'm just going to show you how to putt really well, little buddy. You know, as opposed to I'm going to
Yes,
smack you into
yeah,
a
yeah.
wall, stomp on your head, and throw you on a roof. What kind of a lesson's that?
Yeah, what was the lesson that he wanted him to learn? That like people on drugs are bad?
Human
Mhm.
beings are
No,
assholes.
don't put
Yeah.
people off their golf game.
Let
When they're on
play the
drugs.
game of golf in peace. Just don't come and interrupt when I'm going for a shot. But there's a little thing here from the police that they posted publicly, and I think they probably thought it was quite funny. But they've written out. Well, it wasn't funny because of the animal cruelty, but you'll get my point. I have to keep going back to that. Sorry. Our officers observed William Bubba Hodge carrying an alligator down A1A last night. Hodge was arrested after he was seen trying to throw the alligator onto the roof of a business and slamming it on the ground by its tail. Hodge was charged with 5 offences, including the felonies of animal cruelty, possession/injury of an alligator, and burglary.
Is that a crime?
The alligator was returned to
Maybe they're
management
protected.
of the Congo River Gulf.
Mm.
Yeah, must be in Florida,
But
where Hodge
possession.
claimed to have stolen it after a brief wrestling match. That was what the defendant said. He had a brief
With the
wrestling
With the
match.
alligator?
with the
or with someone
alligator or with
else?
someone else?
Yeah.
With the alligator, yeah. So that is, again, why he was going to teach you a lesson. I'm going to take you down the street. I'm going to throw you on the roof
Yeah.
of a cocktail lounge and then beat you up a bit. What a nut
So
job.
it wasn't annoying him on the golf course at all, was it? It was just a wrestling match.
Well, maybe that's where it started, but he ended up having a brief wrestling match, it says.
I reckon that alligator won the wrestling match, and that's why he was trying to teach him a lesson.
We said, I'll take you out for a drink. There you go.
No one takes Bubba down.
This feels like the synopsis of a late 1980s police academy or Caddyshack
It does,
type
doesn't it?
film.
Sounds quite
yeah.
corny.
Yes.
It's so
Yeah.
silly. It doesn't make it. It's like, surely this was a joke, but it's not. So there you go.
Well, that's a crime there. Clarky. Well, it's my birthday. I'll sentence him first. I'm going to take that
Okay,
gentleman
go for it.
and I'm going to take him up to the Northern Territory and I'm going to introduce him to a saltwater crocodile and see how he wrestles that one.
You're going to teach him a lesson.
Yeah, he can learn a
Wrestle that fucker, mate.
lesson.
There
That's
you go.
it. Short and
Nice.
sweet.
Yeah.
You're not
nice.
tucking that under your arm walking down the street with it?
Try hammer throwing a saltwater croc on the roof of a bar, buddy.
A
Go for
5-meter croc.
Before you do a little bit of a nut punch, as Clarky would say.
Yeah, so
I'll
that's
go with
exactly right. And so my sentence is going somewhere along those lines. So I actually want him to become part of the mini golf course, and I would like him to be seated with his legs spread open, pantless, like our last criminal, and then there can be
Like Christmas
2
Day.
reasons for that. One is that people, instead of having to get the ball in a hole, just have to hit the ball at his nuts, which would annoy the fuck out of him. But also, I'd like there to be maybe...
Bend over and turn around and try and put a ball in a hole.
Yes, but that would maybe be less painful for him, I don't know. But I would also like the said nuts to be coated in some kind of, fishy juice or something, so that at night time the alligators can come out and just have a little feast. Cop that,
Oh,
Bubba.
gross.
I think
Fishy
it's fair.
juice.
Oh.
I want his nuts to be covered in fishy juice.
Yeah.
Quote, unquote.
Yeah, I'm not...
I'm sorry, I went in a different direction.
I do think Bubba needs some level of rehabilitation, certainly in respect to the way he dealt with any animal, but this alligator in
Yeah, some
particular.
anger management.
So I do think they need to be,
Are we saying drug rehabilitation?
yeah, like on one particular, what do you call it, green, no, fairway, what's it called, within a little mini golf
Putt. I don't know. I don't
know.
play mini golf.
putt-putt, yeah. But, whatever it is,
putt-putt.
they have one little featured one, and maybe it can be Bubba and the alligator, and
Is
You
it a
know.
course?
he can, yeah, well, it's a mini
Yeah.
golf course, they're tiny, but, they're massive in Florida, they're everywhere. My kids love them.
Mm.
Although I have to say, I probably wouldn't have taken the one where I do them with the alligators roaming around.
No.
Because I would hate to see one of my kids annoyed and wanting to teach one a lesson.
A little
Oh.
wrestler.
Stop
I can
wrestling
see,
that
I can see
alligator.
Raj totally wrestling an alligator.
Oh, totally. Stop roughhousing, boys.
I'm
God.
I'm okay if Bubba doesn't survive his punishment. I think that's fair. I don't think
Bubba
Florida
might
would
not
be
even
too
be.
upset.
Bubba might just be a real dickhead, I think. He just sounds like the kind of. I mean, if you're going to abuse an animal, let alone an alligator,
don't.
start taking
If you-
it out. That's just weird. That I just.
Yeah.
If you're going to be
Just
called
don't.
If it ever
Bubba,
pops into your head,
if you're going
Yeah.
to accept
If you
that
go by the name of
anyone
it,
calls
Bubba.
you Bubba,
well,
come on.
no,
Unless
but I
you're
think that's a little
fictional
bit more of a
character
normal
in
name
Forrest
in
Gump.
America.
No, I'm
No.
sorry. Unless you're a
Exactly.
fictional character in Forrest Gump, don't come to me with your bubbas.
No, there's always a Bubba in prison, isn't there? And that's the one that's gonna get you in the showers. I feel like I feel like Bubba's a real thing.
It could.
Yeah.
Wait.
I reckon Bubba's a thing.
As per normal, we come from a complete position of ignorance. And on this occasion, blissfully so.
Blissfully ignorant. Yep.
I wonder if there's a picture of him because there wasn't in the article, but I wonder if I can find him. Because I'd like to know what he. Oh my god! Oh my god! That was well worth it.
Show William Bubba.
Oh my god!
Does he look like a meth man?
It's quite shocking, isn't it?
Oh, look at that alligator. It's like a little lizard. Oh.
Oh,
Where's the picture of the alligator? I can't see that.
Oh, that's on
Cletus, get off your sister!
Is that what's on the... Oh! I didn't realise on my thing it was so pixelated. I thought that was just the ground. I didn't realise that was the alligator.
Oh, the poor little things. They're only little.
Oh, it's a little baby.
Yeah.
Like a goanna.
But look at all the marks on Bubba's face.
Little thing.
Do you think Bubba's scars are from
Police
wrestle.
the alligator, or do you think
Police
they,
brutality?
they're...
No, it's definitely that's what happens when you wrestle a baby alligator.
I hope it is. I hope that alligator got some score. Look at it. It's just a little
some form of
thing.
compensation? If you've been attacked, he's probably had to call, those...
Some helpline.
It's
the lawyers that will help you when you're in an accident.
Morris Thingo Blackburn. Is it Morris
If
Blackburn?
you've been stolen from your place of work, thrown on a
ambulance
roof, and then
chases.
wrestled. Morris Blackburn, that's it. Oh, God.
And associates.
If you've had a man who calls himself Bubba grab you inappropriately. All right, we hope you're enjoying our show. We'd love it if you would follow and like us on our Facebook page at Trial by Wine and share with all your family and friends. Help us get to 2,000 downloads by the 30th of January 2022 by giving us a 5-star rating as it helps spread the word. We can't thank you enough for your support. Now back to the show.
Shall I tell you about the crime that I found for my birthday?
Yes, Carla,
Oh,
tell us
yes.
about your birthday crime.
My birthday crime I've entitled Busy Boy because the man who committed this crime was able to amass 19 charges in less than an hour. He was very busy.
He was.
Wow.
The
19
headline
charges
reads-
in less than an hour.
In less than an hour, yep. Naked Florida man accused of bizarre crime spree that included trying to kiss an elderly woman. I mean, so what? I thought they could have done better on the headline, but yeah, if he wasn't nude, it was just a man kissing an older lady. So, there you go.
But how's that lead to... And you're going to tell me 19 charges. Go on.
Yes, I will.
What was it kissing her with? Because there's a thing in Scotland, there's a thing, and it's also in England, but there's a Glasgow kiss, which is a headbutt. And I wonder if perhaps
A headbutt, yeah.
he was headbutting the elderly woman.
A Floridian kiss might be in the nude.
Headbutting an elderly woman.
With laced some, synthetic drug.
Yeah.
After you've pooed your pants.
Exactly. Yeah. With a gator.
A Floridian kiss. I like it. That's what we need to come up with. We need to work out exactly what the...
That's how you get 19 crimes in an hour.
A Florida man's crime spree started with him exposing himself at a flea market, then stripping naked, stealing a car, and committing various other criminal acts before he was arrested less than an hour later.
What?
Deputies said the first call they received about 23-year-old Mr. Pickett came in about
Mr.
11:15 a.m. on Wednesday from a diner inside a flea market where witnesses reported Pickett jumped on a coin machine while kicking and punching it, went to the ground where he exposed himself and started screaming, "Call the cops, the dead are rising."
Oh, he's on it.
Zombie
He's
stuff
on
there.
the shit.
He's on it.
Oh, Pickett.
Yeah. I'm going to sort of put my neck out here a little bit and say maybe something synthetic.
Yeah.
From there, he jumped on a customer's shoulders. Could you imagine that? Oh, my
Naked.
God. And attacked a worker who was behind the counter, grabbing her, then punching her when she pushed him away.
Punching her.
Then deputies
He's
said he was
quality.
chased out of the diner and went out to the parking lot, stripped totally naked, and stole someone's Chevrolet Sonic.
You can't possibly
Along
drive
with his
one of
clothes.
those with clothes on, can you?
I just wouldn't want it back. Someone's sweaty ass crack in my
Ass
driver's seat.
cheeks and ball sack.
Yeah, no, thank you. I forgot about ball sacks because I don't have one. Oh,
Yeah.
Oh, silly sausage, along with his clothes.
sorry, what was about
Sausage.
He's
sausage?
also left behind a bag.
What did you say about sausage just then?
I said he's a silly sausage.
Oh, different
He's
kind
done.
of sausage. I was totally thinking that was connected to the ball bag.
No. He's just a silly sausage who, along with his clothes, has left behind a bag containing a pistol.
Oh,
So he had a gun.
I thought he left behind a bag containing balls.
So about 20 minutes later, about 11:35 a.m., a call came in from an elderly woman who lives a few blocks away, who said that Pickett had approached her in that stolen car, grabbed her hair, and tried to kiss her. But then he picked up a piece of concrete and threatened to kill her.
He's very emotionally confused.
He's very erratic.
It's a love-hate relationship.
You're hot, you're cold.
I love you, I
Surely.
hate you, I love you,
You're
I
giving her
hate you.
mixed signals.
I love you, but most of all when you're dead. I don't know.
I like that. I'm sorry, you're hot. You're
Nana
cold.
didn't even get to say no. He's such a turncoat. Oh. Deputies said Pickett then tried to break into an RV on the property and ended up throwing a brick during a confrontation with the man who lives inside, injuring the victim. When authorities arrived at the scene, Pickett tried to run, but was found in the bed of the truck. The backpack he left in the RV during the incident, so he had two bags. There contained, this is what I like. So the bag that he took with him, not the bag that he accidentally forgot,
With
the
his
bag that
gun,
he had
yeah.
on him. Yeah. The backpack he left in the RV during the incident contained a throwing star. Is that like a ninja?
Yeah.
Totally, yes.
Yes, like the point of it, yes.
Wow.
Yeah, a throwing star, handgun, ammunition, and you'll never believe this,
Drugs.
a bag of synthetic
Yes.
Do you think perhaps he had dabbled?
Sharp.
I thought you were going to say a 3-foot alligator.
Yeah. Yeah, good. That would have been good too, yes. Wow.
And then it says a third report had come in after he was in custody. I don't know what the other person was waiting to call for, but they were a little bit late to the party. Residents in the area also said that Pickett had ripped up a mailbox on the ground, broken into a home, broke a TV, and that he was wearing, you'll like this, a green house coat at the time of his arrest. So he'd become modest all of a sudden
Yes.
and stolen someone's house coat to cover himself up. And he also said one last thing before we get to all the list of charges. Apparently, he'd also yelled out during the incident, "Come on out, I know you're in there." So he was totally whack, basically.
He sounds like a great
But
bloke.
busy.
Unicum's whack. He'd had too many unicums. That's the problem.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
So Pickett was arrested on 19 charges that he'd amassed in that hour. 2 counts of criminal mischief and property damage.
Criminal
burglary,
mischief.
driving with a suspended or revoked license.
Oh, can we
I
explore
know.
criminal
You naughty
mischief? That
boy.
just sounds like a night out.
It's certainly a night out with you, Clarky.
I know. Aggravated assault,
Could be a Sunday breakfast.
aggravated battery. Here's Nana's very special one. Nana gets her own. Battery on a person 65 years of age or older.
Wow.
So that was the love-hate. I'm so into you, Nana. I'm going to kill you. I'm going to crush your skull.
I know he scared her, but he didn't actually hurt her, yeah? He grabbed her by the hair
Well, he
for a
got
passionate
charged with
kiss before he
battering her,
turned.
so I'm guessing he did.
It does say battery on a person, so maybe he had not so much crushed her skull, but given her a little
It
bit
was
of
a Floridian kiss.
I think
Yeah, that's-
he may have.
The Floridian
That's
kiss.
not okay.
Like a whack.
I reckon it's just pulling the hair.
I'm pulling the hair to try to give her the Floridian kiss.
that's-
I
Stop.
wondered if it was
Oh,
pulled her hair and then a bit of tongue.
Oh,
Yeah.
tongue lashing.
Poor
I
Nana.
love the visual.
Imagine Nana when she goes and hangs out with the girls at Bridge. She'll be like, "Oh my lord, you won't believe what happened to me today. I had this guy trying to stick his tongue down my throat. The next thing you know, he's trying to bash my skull in with a piece of
He's got
concrete."
his rocks out
I
and
was
he's
fine
trying
with
to...
it until the concrete came in.
Sure, Joan. Sure. No, really.
He had a heart on.
He was also
I love the
arrested
way
on
that you
charges.
think that this woman is it's part of some kind of
bridge club.
semi-aristocratic English bridge club.
Yeah, maybe not if she was near the RV. Maybe.
Children.
Georgia.
Oh, he had a penchant for an older woman. Who was I to say no?
Oh, no.
It was very
I thought all
forceful.
my ships had all come in at once. Anyway.
So I just bent over and copped a jogging for the next 15 minutes. Wouldn't read about it.
Oh gosh. Okay. He was also done on using or displaying a weapon during the commission of a felony,
Hang on.
possession of
Hang
a
on.
weapon or
Can we
ammo.
explore that one? Using or displaying a weapon. Like, I feel like there's very different. Like, I've got a gun. I'll display it. I've got a gun. I'll shoot it at you. Like, you can't have. Like,
Very true, isn't
that
it?
can't be the same crime.
It was only on display. I was never going to use it. It was just ornamental.
Which one was it?
But
Did
I
you-
thought there's this whole legal thing in the US about hiding the gun. So if you have a gun on you and it's not on
Concealed
display,
weapon.
Concealed
a
weapon.
concealed weapon, that's
Yeah,
that's against the law. So
Yeah.
I'm not sure. Did he have a display case in his bag and that's the crime? I don't understand the display comparing it to
Oh,
concealed.
hang
I don't
on.
get it.
But no. So we're assuming the weapon was the gun. What if the weapon was like a concrete block
An alligator.
or his
Or he's throwing star.
bowl shack?
throwing
Could have been his
star.
bowl shack.
His bowls.
Oh, it could have been his throwing.
All set.
Yeah.
Why do you have a throwing star? Is that the one that's got the sharp edges and then you fling it and then it...
I know exactly why that
Brilliant.
is, and I'll come to that in my sentencing, but I won't tell you just yet.
Oh, please do, because I just don't think we see enough of the throwing star
I
used in
know,
these
I
crimes.
know.
My question, I want to know when he procured the throwing star, before or after he went to the flea market and had the synthetic drugs.
He might have
just
bought
carries-
it.
Use
It
it.
sounds like the sort of thing you
Might
buy
have
at
had
a
it for
flea
ages,
market.
or at the flea market.
Yeah.
Yes, I feel like he went there and he went, oh,
Yeah.
ninja throwing star. I'm buying one of those.
Old mate, 70-year-old
Ninja.
Japanese
No,
man
it's-
who used to be a ninja had a stall and he was selling off his unwanted items.
And someone was selling a pistol in a display case, and he bought that, and then he got done for
Just,
displaying the pistol.
just as well he didn't buy the samurai sword, but he probably didn't need to buy the concrete block. I'm not sure why the ninja man was selling a concrete block, but anyway.
He was also charged, let me keep going through the list, we're probably at about number 9, burglary with assault or battery, resisting an officer without violence.
Oh, like, officer, I can't resist.
Oh, I really don't want you to do it. I'm not going to put up a fight, but I'm really not terribly keen to be arrested.
No,
I feel like-
I'd prefer that to not happen.
I feel like Joan couldn't resist the officer.
They do seem to have all bases covered with some of these.
I don't think Jane could resist me, a person.
Possessing a synthetic cannabinoid, possession of drug equipment,
Drug equipment.
engaging in a
Good
criminal
point.
offence with a weapon. Oh, here you go, Schmitty. Possession of a concealed weapon by a convicted felon. Oh, okay.
Oh,
he's obviously
he's
been in
got
trouble
pride.
before.
Shit just got real.
Dun, dun.
Oh, you'll like this one. Exposure of sexual organs.
Bozak!
Plural. Give him a nut punch.
Yes,
Wow.
exactly. See, it's a real thing.
I saw something through the week, and it's I'll remember it afterwards. But it was like the nut punch, but it's going to bug me, and I'll probably remember it later. But I thought of you immediately.
Now that you keep talking about it, all I can think of is Tina Turner's Nutbush City, but I'm
Nut
thinking,
Punch City Limits.
Nut punch.
They call it Nut Punch! Whoa, Nut Punch!
Oh, Nut Punch. That's it. Nut
I love
Punch City Limits.
I think it's better.
45
Oh
is the
God, I
speed
always
limit.
hated it when people.
You nut punch, no bail.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
Oh, that's all you get in jail. And they call it Nut Punch.
People always line up on a
Nut
dance
punch,
floor.
yes.
Nut punch City Limit.
Yes.
Oh, don't! I'm still
my
very,
God.
I'm very
very partial to the nut punch, Carla. I'm bringing it to the new generation. So I do the nut punch every chance I can.
I can't wait though.
The nut punch.
I can't wait for a court to convict someone of a nut punch, like a true court, to just say, yes, you're guilty and you're going to get 28 nut punch.
Oh,
That
God.
would be fair.
And there are just 2 left, 2 other crimes that he was arrested for. Just grand theft motor vehicle and disturbing the peace.
Disturbing the peace. God, which part of that was disturbing?
It's like they just threw it in as we'll just throw that in. They could have thrown in one more and done up to an even 20, really,
I
shouldn't
think
they?
so, but also I'm not sure, like, what peace was he disturbing? Because, Joan doesn't feel that disturbed, I don't think. She went and told her bridge club about it, so it can't have been that bad.
Oh.
I don't know that we know that. That was just Carla telling us that she told the
But
police
Joan
that-
must have been okay because she was able to call the police.
I'm
herself.
telling you,
I know.
telling you that I know it as fact because I heard it right here.
Okay.
And it's not hearsay.
Okay.
It's trial by one fact.
Well, I have a sentence. Do you want to hear it?
I
or
do.
not?
Yes. Is it a full sentence or is it
Yeah.
a paragraph?
Oh, it's probably a paragraph. I'm going to go for...
I'm sorry, Schmitty. I've just gone back and in my mind, I thought that he had his pants off when he went into the diner.
In what?
I don't know if he did now or not, but it says because he was in clothes, he was out of clothes, he was in a coat, a house coat. I mean, it was all different outfits. But I'm just thinking, like from there, he jumped on a customer's shoulders. Would you imagine having someone?
With no undies on.
Did he have no pants on then? No, he didn't. He got naked in the car park.
It said that when he was in the flea market, which was
I think he got naked
Yeah,
after the
he was
custom.
Yeah,
naked.
because he had.
Oh, you think
I
he
think
was?
Imagine putting someone's
He was naked
pieces
because he
around-
was outside first, and then he's come back
He
in.
got naked to steal the car because you couldn't drive that
Oh,
car.
so Carla just said...
punching her when she pushed him away. Oh, get off me! I mean, imagine some nude man jumping on your shoulders at work. Excuse me. How very dare you? Oh,
Excuse me, do you mind getting your ball sack off my neck?
oh, the customer's always right, I know, but would you mind? He's mounted somebody on their shoulders.
Oh.
Oh, we've
That's when you said someone's bits and pieces.
I know, but seriously, slapping. Gross.
Oh, God.
Oh, God. I think he may just have had no pants on.
So,
I've got to
you
calm
know, so
down.
it's totally...
so tell us your sentence in a
I
paragraph.
just cried. I want Joan and her bridge club friends to get some stockings and put some concrete in the stockings and then just line up and nut punch him.
Oh, with
Very
the
tight.
concrete.
Yeah.
Genius.
Yeah, with a bit of concrete at the end of a pair of tights and just go for your life. It's a bit like, I don't know, there must be some kind of, game, like,
You
I want to
turn-
say conkers, but I don't know how conkers.
it sounds
Yeah, I
perfect.
think it is concrete.
Yeah, nut conkers.
Yeah.
And I think that it would turn
Nut conkers, yeah.
it would turn those nuts into like fried eggs real quick. They'd just be splattered
Yeah,
everywhere.
that'd be nice.
He'd have
That'll teach him for jumping on someone's back.
and he'd have a ruptured ball sack for sure.
Oh.
Goodness.
I hadn't told you his name at any point because it's not really that important, but his name is LaHorace. So I've heard of Horace before, which is Horace, but it's got a La at the front. LaHorace Pickett Jr. But I would like to see he
Horace?
perhaps go to the bridge club with Joan for some sexy time. And I think Joan might have enjoyed the little kiss to start.
Yeah.
And Joan and she can line up all her friends and he can give them all a little bit of a kiss and, I think that they might like that.
I wonder if
When he's completely sober, so he has no
Correct.
drugs.
yes.
Yeah.
Joan and the- Joan
you
and
like
the
an older
bridge-
lady? Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
Take their dentures out, they take their
Yeah.
teeth out,
Yeah.
and they go,
Yes.
let us show you some...
Let's do some sexy time with Nana and her
Yeah.
friends.
What's
Turkey
it called
slap.
for, Stuart?
A turkey slap?
Girl,
Or a
no.
tongue lashing?
Tongue
Tongue lashing.
lashing. Yeah, that's right.
Yes. And I think
A tongue lashing from Joan.
I think Joan should also have her conkers kit on hand just in case it gets a little unruly.
Yes, good
Oh,
idea.
yes.
Good idea.
For a nut
Yeah.
punch.
So for me, I just don't think there's any crime being committed here. I just feel like this is the latest episode of Florida Ninja Warrior.
It's so true. He's just a maniac out in the streets going from one obstacle
He's
to the next.
been given an obstacle course. He's clearly a ninja because he's got the star.
Yeah.
So he's just trying to get through in the smallest amount of time he possibly can.
He's like warming up, taking his clothes off,
Yeah.
maximum sort of flexibility to jump on
Yes.
people, kiss them, wrestle them to the ground, hide in bed, pick up concrete.
Exactly.
So busy.
And my time's not
He's just an athlete, really.
quick enough, so I'm going to steal a car.
Yeah, and I'm going to leap onto the shoulders of the person with the diner because they're going to get me there quicker.
Yes, it's just, and so I reckon he got to the end of the obstacle course thinking he's won, and the cops are there, and he's going, "What the fuck?" Like, and why am I naked? Give me your house coat because something's gone really wrong in this. This show's fucked.
Maybe that was why he was able to be apprehended without violence. He was
Yeah,
sort of-
shocked.
I think he was a little bit. Maybe he was a little impertinent because it did. What does it say? Let me just read it again.
Oh, I'm not really keen on you arresting me. I'm not quite
Arresting an officer without violence.
Yeah.
Maybe he was a little bit put out. Well, this is rich. You know, I think I'm competing in Florida Ninja Warrior, and this is what you do.
I just think Joan dressed up in a policeman's outfit and he resisted her. And so it was without violence. He just said, "No thanks, Joan. I tried that once and it just didn't work." That's how you resist a police officer without violence. Because what even is what's resisting a police officer? It just
I must
sounds
think I don't want to be arrested.
It's
Like,
a-
without violence.
without violence.
Without violence.
But how
You know, with it,
how
it must be
can
verbal.
how can you get
Must be
charged
swearing.
with that?
It's probably swearing, though. It's probably like, you know, lots of giving it all that, as they say in old Blighty.
I reckon the police officer was coming on to him and he said, "No thanks, mate. I'm more team Joan than team you."
I was going to say, I'm into Joan. I'm going back.
Yes.
She doesn't like the rough play with the concrete, but apparently the kissies were okay.
Yes. Not only are you the wrong gender, you're about 50 years younger than what I'm into. And
Yeah,
so
I like 'em old.
that's how he resisted a police officer
I
without
want a good
violence.
tongue lashing.
All right, I'm good with that.
Yep, nice.
Now,
I do have another story I'd like to share with you from Florida, and it doesn't relate to anybody's birthdays. But the one thing that I did do, I thought it might be advantageous, I was wrong, to look up our names and Florida to see if, we happen to feature.
Oh, yeah.
There's good news and bad news. For me personally, it was not great because there was a person with my exact name who had died. So we'll leave it at that. But moving along to Mr. Clark, I was able to find someone with your name.
That's shock me.
Again.
Shock me. Google Paul Clark and there's like a million of us.
Yes, I know,
Yeah.
it's such an unusual name. But what I really want to share with you is his middle name. So his name was Paul Kent Clark. And I was like, did these people have a problem with syllables? I mean, that's very...
But it's also,
Paul
maybe
Kent Clark. I can make
they
that.
named him backwards and it really is Clark Kent Paul. Because
Clark
he's
Kent,
Superman.
It rolls better.
Yes.
Paul Clark
Maybe
Kent.
that's where the connection was. Anyway, that didn't really work because very sadly, you had killed someone.
Who?
My whole line of inquiry really didn't go very well at all. And when I looked up your name, Schmitty, there was someone who was involved in a crime, but it was spelled incorrectly. So I was like, this is
I
not
love
right.
how you said you've killed someone, not Paul Kent Clark has killed
Paul Kent
someone.
Clark.
Clearly it was you.
You're onto me. I thought I got away with it.
You Paul Kent Clark was done DUI manslaughter and a pedestrian death, so it was not nice.
A pedestrian death. Is that like just a run-of-the-mill
I
death?
thought I could mine some area that find something funny. I didn't find anything remotely amusing at all. It was terrible. Anyway, moving swiftly along, there is a crime that I remember taking place. So you may or may not recall this. It was back in 2012 and it was all over the news because it was such, a shocking tale. So it happened in Miami and it's sort of been known as the Miami zombie attack. And
I've seen this, yes.
See if this rings any
It
bells.
does.
So back in May 2012, Rudy Eugene attacked and maimed Ronald Popo.
He was on
And
bath
Ronald
salts.
was a homeless man. Well, yes, that's what they thought it was. And he was on, like, it was filmed. So there's actually footage of it where
Yes.
he was on the MacArthur Causeway, which is like a freeway in Miami. And it was an 18-minute encounter, which was, I don't know why the whole thing was filmed. Maybe it was from a security camera. Eugene accused Popo of stealing his Bible. He beat him unconscious, removed Popo's pants, and bit off most of his face above the beard, including his left eye.
I'm guessing, given the severity of the punishment, it was the King James version of the Bible.
No, it was the Gideon Bible.
We're all going to hell.
Oh my goodness. Oh yeah. As a result of the incident's shocking nature and subsequent worldwide media coverage, Eugene came to be known as the Miami Zombie or the Cannibal Killer, although he wasn't actually a killer, but you know. So basically, they killed the guy who was eating the other guy's face. They shot him dead. And the other man was left, and this is what was so disturbing, because they had all this footage of it going on for so long. He was basically a man lying down with the other guy eating his face.
It's just so disgusting.
Oh,
Oh yeah, it's
So disgusting.
hungry much?
it's actually not even that funny now, because I can't make anything funny about it because it's just so disturbing. It ground me to a halt. Sorry. The whole focus at the time, and Paul was right. Everybody thought that he was doing like synthetic drugs. Bath salts was this thing that was sending everyone crazy, and I dare say some of our friends that we've spoken about this morning probably had a little bit of that in their system as well. So you've got to remember he had bitten off. So Popo, who was the victim, lost an eye, his eyebrows, his nose, and parts of his forehead and cheek. That's how much he had actually
Eaten.
I don't know if he.
I just
Oh,
want to be
but
sick.
yeah.
Ugh. Oh, he turned him into the Phantom of the Opera.
He
All
did
these-
indeed.
one of those little,
That's exactly right. That's what he looks like.
I feel like it's
Correct.
it's that usage of the word lost that I don't really understand. Like, I don't think he's
Not
know
missing.
looking around on his hands and knees trying to find his
Where'd I put that
eye.
eye?
Yeah. Where'd I put
Where'd I
that
put
cheek?
that eye? It was here somewhere.
It's in me guts hole.
My cheek.
I had it before. Where's
Oh.
it gone?
Oh.
Yeah.
I've got one sore cheek from laughing so much. The other one it's just not there. Where did I put that again? He didn't lose it.
It's just so horrifically violent.
Yes.
Yeah,
Just
it's
to-
awful. It's awful. But I think that's when we weren't joking earlier when we said drugs are bad, kids.
Just so you
Yeah.
know.
Drugs really are
Okay,
bad.
and imagine
I
this.
think
Do you think it would take a degree of effort to eat someone's face? I imagine it would.
yes.
I don't think it would be something that would be an easy task.
I'm just going to put this out there that the perpetrator was off his face. And then poor old Popo had his face off.
Well, this is the thing, Schmitty. In the toxicology, it turned out that everyone was wrong. Following the attack, many speculated that the attack by Eugene was provoked by the influence of drugs known as bath salts.
No, but it was just because
the
he stole
Miami-Dade
his
County
Bible.
medical examiner.
That's fair.
Yeah, they found marijuana in his system, but no other street drugs, alcohol, or prescription drugs.
Oh, so was he just mad?
Can you just
mentally ill.
Well, something had happened. Totally, he'd had some kind of mental
Psychotic.
breakdown.
No.
Because
Yeah.
before he started the
or
attack,
he really liked his Bible.
he was naked. Of
Of
course,
course he was naked.
they love to get their gear off in
Yes.
Florida.
Yes. Just then you don't have clothes to clean
He'd
afterwards.
stripped off his clothes.
Saves on washing
They're very
up.
conscious like that.
Wait a minute.
sure.
Sorry, I missed it. He's naked?
Yes. Of
Yes,
course
so
he
they're
is.
saying Eugene reportedly had stripped off his clothes and was swinging around a light post minutes before he bit into Popo's face in broad daylight,
Oh.
just alongside the highway. People were driving past.
Can I just ask though? So going back to how hard it is to eat someone's face, how do you actually get? How do you get their
Yeah.
eyeball out? Like what if he actually really did lose his eyeball, and so that wasn't part of the crime?
As in it rolled down
Like
the street.
maybe,
What do you mean?
It just
maybe
it's connected by a little stalk.
Yeah,
There's
but-
a stalk at the back that
Oh,
holds it in.
Well, it's not a stalk, is it? Like it's
Sorry.
it doesn't fucking grow on a plant. So maybe he went to the toilet and he was constipated and he was trying so hard to get one out that his eyeball popped out. And then he just went, oh, well, that's fucked. So he just cut it off and threw it away or something and lost it. And so maybe, because how do you eat someone's eye out?
Or maybe he just damaged it enough that it was lost.
Try
So
can
he
you-
blinded him.
just try to pretend that you're eating someone's eye out, like because it's sunken already. Your teeth don't get in there.
Well, maybe he'd eaten the nose first and part of the cheek, so he had greater access
Yeah.
into the
I
sort of
can't.
eye cavity.
I can't put myself in this person's position at all.
I have
It's
this thing about
beyond me.
teaspoons that they're the right size to be eyeball removers. You could just go like
Oh,
that,
stop it.
like watermelon ballers, and just and there it is.
Maybe just put his thumbs in.
Oh,
Oh, squeeze it like a big zip.
oh, great noise, thanks.
But I just think, I can't imagine how, well, I don't want to say off your face, 'cause it's not even that, but how in a separate headspace you'd have to be to have the effort and the sheer jaw power to eat somebody's face.
How face you off
be a
do you have to
massive
be?
jar. Yeah.
Just need a good filleting knife.
I just want to take it back a little bit because, Carla, you said at some point during that, now I can't find what's funny about this story. As if you actually
No,
read it and there was something funny about it. And I'm intrigued to know what it was that was funny.
He ate his cheek and his eyeball. Oh, they're going to love this. And now it's like, oh, now it's not actually funny.
What did I think was funny about that? I wish we could find out what it was that you thought was funny.
I wish people could see Carla's face right now while she's trying to reread it going, what? Why did I pick this? Why is this funny?
Why did I think this was funny? This is so, oh my God.
Macabre.
Gross.
I think I've let myself down because I remember thinking, oh, that's a really good story. I remember that.
That's an interesting
It's
story.
really funny when someone has their face eaten off, Carla. That's hysterical.
I don't. In defense
yeah.
of yourself, I wouldn't say that you picked this for it being funny. I think you picked it for its interesting factor because we all assumed that he was on some major drug and he wasn't.
Yeah.
So it's just the power of the mind.
Oh, God, listen to this. When the Miami Police Department officer arrived, the first one on the scene, and after doing a double take at the spectacle, it says,
Oh, God.
he warned Eugene to detest from attacking Popo. Eugene ignored the officer's warning and instead reportedly growled at him. Oh, my God.
Yeah, no.
Then resumed biting his victim.
Was he resisting that officer without violence?
Well, that was obviously the officer who shot him. He shot him once, it proved ineffective, then he had to shoot him another 4 times. The ordeal was captured by a security camera, as was the other 18 minutes of the whole attack.
No.
Oh, I'm sorry, I shouldn't have laughed, but we shot him
No.
once. It was ineffective, so I just made sure it worked by.
Like a couple 3 in it.
Yeah, I'm wondering if number 2, number 3, and number 4 were also ineffective, or if we actually didn't wait to find
Yeah,
out.
what was this?
I was gonna
Correct.
empty this whole thing into him.
Sorry.
And I'm sorry I didn't bring me Uzi.
Yeah.
I've played zombie apocalypse
Yeah, well-
games. I just know I need to shoot them till I run out of bullets.
I'm pretty sure a clip is more than 5 bullets.
If I did have Face Eater running at me, I would probably empty my
I would.
Old
gun.
clip.
Yeah,
Yeah, exactly.
Wouldn't even wait to see whether shot 1 was effective.
I've got a little bit of information, Clarky, on the eyeball.
Oh, can you not?
Yeah, from the victim.
Oh.
So, in the aftermath, they save Mr. Popo's
Are
life.
you going to tell me you found it later? He had
No.
lost it?
He just explains how he did it. So, poor Popo was admitted to Jackson Memorial Hospital with 75 to 80% of his face above his beard missing.
Oh.
And his left eye gouged out. Popo spoke to the police, who thanked them for saving their lives, explaining that Eugene, who he hardly knew, so he did know him, he was
He knew
aware
him
of
enough
him,
to steal his Bible.
Yeah, well.
approached him in a friendly manner, but then complaining he couldn't score at the beach and souped up on something, started to talk about how they were going to die, accused Popo of stealing his Bible, and suddenly, without provocation, attacked and strangled him with wrestling holds,
Thinking he was an alligator.
and then plucked out
Oh my God.
both his eyes.
Both of his
Have you-
eyes, and they managed to put one back
Both
in.
of his. It's like Kill Bill. Exactly. Like the Black Mamba.
Kill Bill. Kill Bill.
Oh, God. Popo lost his eyebrows, his nose, parts of his forehead, cheek, and his left eye, and was left totally blind due to the damage to his remaining right eye.
That's terrible.
Oh, this is quite nice, though. I have read stuff about his rehabilitation. So he underwent numerous surgeries to repair the damage to his face. He put on 50 pounds and relearned how to dress, feed himself, shower, and shave. and he was granted permission to stay at the medical facility indefinitely.
Hang on, which bit of that was nice?
Because he was a homeless person, wasn't he? He's got a home now. He's got a roof.
Although the autopsy revealed no human flesh in Eugene's stomach, a number of undigested pills were discovered that have not been identified. Well, why aren't they identified? Do a bit more work.
So when you say no human flesh in his stomach,
He hadn't
just
swallowed
spat
any
it
on
out.
the table.
Just
Well, I
bit it
don't
off.
know.
spat
Otherwise,
it
I didn't see. He wasn't eating it, just gnawing
The
at it.
defective detective strikes again.
Exactly. It's like, oh, there's something in there, but we don't know what it is. Find it out.
Too hard.
I could,
He doesn't
but I can't be
have
bothered.
a...
Been a big day.
There is something nice about the victim. So he was a homeless man, and at the time of the attack, his family, including his own daughters, just assumed that he was dead because they
Didn't
hadn't
know
heard
where
from
he
him in
was.
over 30
Yeah.
years. Yeah. They were shocked to learn that he was still alive at the incident. And because he's still in the medical facility, he's safe there. He doesn't really see anybody, but he is learning to play an instrument, and he's safe because I just think that he had, he's so traumatized. He can't see, he can't, operate in any normal capacity. But they raised money for him, and, he's okay. He just listens to the radio and plays a guitar. So it's maybe...
Well, at least he didn't have to give his right leg to get a home.
No, just his eyes.
Yeah, it is a bit of a leap, isn't it? From going from homeless, I'm like, how can I find some accommodation?
You've got to give
I've
it
got an
an arm and a leg to get a house in this town. No, just 80% of your face above your beard is enough.
No, but I was thinking about that. There was part of it that I did read in one little bit because I thought that I was going to gag, where he'd eaten part of the beard. Now, I can't, when you see a chicken and it's got little feather accidentally left in or something, I cannot work with that. And I think I'd have to draw a line at the beard. Imagine that. Yeah. And a homeless man's beard. Oh, sometimes when Jeremy kisses me with that beard, I'm like, oh.
Couldn't
I don't think I'd
imagine
be
trying
eating
to
it.
chew everything above it.
It's Bible
Yeah.
punishment. Not everything, just 80%.
We're going to sentence, or he's just shot dead and that's enough.
He's shot dead. Yeah, I don't know. It's a very disturbing one. I don't
I'm
know.
wondering, should we sentence our old mate for stealing the Bible, or did he get enough punishment? I kind of feel like he got enough punishment.
He's clearly
I
going to
just
hell.
wanna
We don't
ask.
even know if he did steal it.
But also, so if he was guilty, and let's say he did steal it, what's the current punishment for stealing a Bible? Because I feel like it's nothing like that.
It's certainly not an eye for an eye.
Well, no, it's an eye and 80% of the face above the beard. It's escalate. That's inflation for you.
But you could turn the other cheek. You can have it.
It's Bible inflation.
Turn the other cheek.
If he had one.
I reckon what you would do is say, anyone got Nutbush on Spotify? Because there's going to be some serious
Punching when
nut
he's not
punching
looking.
happening here. Yeah.
Everyone on the dance floor now for a little bit of nut punching.
Nut punch.
punch.
Nut punch city limits. Nut punch. Wow, nut punch.
Oh, nut punch.
Church house, jailhouse. Schoolhouse,
the word.
outhouse.
On Highway number 19, the people keep the city
clean.
They call it Nut Punch. Woo! Nut Punch.
Nut punch city limits. Anyway, terrible story.
That's Florida this week.
Well,
Round the
We're up
houses.
to date.
Carla, you
Oh, yeah.
have brought us highs and lows of the stories of Florida. Clarky, you got anything to add?
Well, I must say, really well done. There's nothing quite like a little bit of Florida action. I'm glad to know that I did actually murder someone. So I'll keep. I'll try to research that a little bit more to find out maybe that was.
Please go and have a look. Go and look up your name, and you'll find Paul Kent Clark.
Yes, thank you.
It's very pedestrian, though.
I feel like
very pedestrian.
It's a very pedestrian crime. Exactly. I feel like a little bit like a backwards superhero too. But I do think that I'd like our listeners to do this and maybe share some of their crimes as well, because that's a little bit of fun.
Thank you again, Carla. Great job, Clarky, as ever. You're very funny. And
Very funny.
your show next week, yes, Clarky?
Oh, let me give it some thought. I'll see what I can come up with.
You do that. Okay, well, thank you very much. And as I say every week, miss you already, guys. Oh, bye.
Love you. Love you, chicks. Bye.
Love your eyeballs. Love
Bye,
your
everyone.
cheeks.
Thank
Love
you
your
for
Love your
eyebrows.
cheeks.
Oh, fuck.
Couldn't eat a whole one.
Oh, no. All right, bye.
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 Thanks for listening to Trial by Wine. You can contact us at trialbywine@gmail.com. Please rate, review, and subscribe to Trial by Wine on Apple Podcasts or wherever you get your podcasts. If you'd like to support us, you can become a patron at www.patreon.com, Trial by Wine, or visit our website www.trialbywine.com to donate to us. Your support will help us cover many more cases and apply wacky sentences. We really appreciate you listening and hope you tell everyone about us. Our cover art is by John Christo and music is by Beauchamp from pixabay.com.